where you went with them, and
Well, let's see. Okay, so we did Death Row Game Show for Crown. Then we did a movie called
Death Row Game Show, in case anybody didn't catch that title.
Then we did a thing called Nudist Colony of the Dead, which was a musical. It was a horror, comedy, zombie, romance musical, which I actually think is kind of cute. I really like that film. And then we ended up taking that movie and we turned it into a stage show, which we did in Hollywood for 4 months, which was kind of fun too. Then went back to filmmaking and brought us to Colorblinded here, which because I as much as I enjoyed the stage show, I really prefer making films, because when you do stage, you're sort of like at the mercy of whatever's happening on stage, and it changes every night.
Right.
So I always looked at it as, it's like running a movie and worrying that the projector is going to break, or the film is going to break at any point. So
because it's out of control, you know.
Yeah, it is. Once the curtain opens, you're at the mercy of what happens. So I kind of miss the control of, you know, when you edit a movie, that's the way it is, and nobody changes their lines or nobody does anything differently, and that was pretty much what happened. So went back to doing Colorblinded as my next feature film, and you know, it's been the best received of all the films I've done.
So you screened it at Universal.
Yes.
So tell me how you maneuvered that one.
Well, you know, if you have money, you can maneuver anything. And I didn't get the screening room for free. I mean, this is no joke. The night of the screening cost me more than the movie.
Oh, no.
I mean, for the screening room and the reception that we had afterwards cost at least twice as much as the movie cost to make, which was kind of funny. But I had some friends that worked at Universal.
So the screening room cost just under $1 million.
Yeah, that's right, of course.
You know how all these low-budget films are made for just under $1 million.
Just under, right. Well, but it was, you know, we got some really good responses, and then we had another screening about a month later, and same thing. Like I say, it's of all the films I've done, and I don't really hold favorites because each one has a certain charm, except Buford's Beach Bunnies. God, I hate that film. That was my sellout film.
I'm not familiar with that one.
I don't really push that one much. That was one of these. I was approached by this company that makes sex films or sex comedy. Well, they don't make comedies. They make like erotic films for the Playboy Channel. And they said, gee, you know, we like your sense of humor. We'd like to take your elements of comedy, mix it with our elements of sexy stuff, and put together a film. So we did a movie called Buford's Beach Bunnies, which is like, it's like the, you know, if all of your films are considered like your children, this is the little retarded kid that drools in the corner, you know. It's like he's your kid, but he's not exactly one that you take out all the time.
No.
And that was the most expensive movie I ever made. It was almost $300,000.
But it wasn't coming out of your pocket this time.
Oh, no. This was another company that financed it. And it was, like I say, I did it for the money, and it wasn't something that I would proudly put out there. But yeah, I know, I became a whore. It happens. It's Hollywood, you know what I mean? So.
All right, well, we're going to go into our last look, last sneak peek.
Just one more and that's it? Oh, man.
At Colorblind.
Oh, okay.
And this is where the boyfriend is trying to find Snow White.
Ivory Snow.
Ivory Snow. To me, she's Snow White. Ivory Snow. And, of course, she doesn't exist. And he.
Well, you should tell your audience that Ivory Snow is the name that she uses as the white girl. How are they going to know that if they didn't see the movie?
Well, because if we tell them everything, then they won't see the movie.
Who's Ivory Snow?
So now they'll have to rent the film and
okay.
catch all those details and find out what all of these great, you know, little tidbits of information mean.
Certainly.
So Ivory Snow, if I get the name right, and he confronts her about everything that she's been up to.
Don't even put me in your league. I mean, I don't know if she put you up to this or if you're some sort of freelance bitch. But you and Melanie can both go to hell.
You know what? Fine. We don't need you. I sure as hell don't. The way I look, I can get any man like that.
Because it's cheaper. Damn funny.
So she gets caught. But the last scene in the film, or one of the close to the end, that's a great scene. But we won't tell you what it is because you're going to have to go see. They all die. They all die. No.
They get hit by a truck.
They all become reborn in a way.
A milk truck.
So why black and white?
Why black and white? Well, a couple of reasons. One, it's cheaper. This movie was shot in a way that had I shot in color, which it was shot in color, by the way. It was processed through in black and white.
Okay.
But had I released it in color, it would have looked a little cheaper because of the way it was shot, which I don't really want to get into in great detail. But we used a process that made it look like we shot it on film, which we didn't. But and it looked more convincing in black and white. one. The second reason
Is
is
that the film look when you take
well,
that
it's a
film look
process a process I call Pirrovision,
Oh,
which
Pirrovision.
actually that was the prototype because I've now perfected it for color. As a matter of fact, I can make color video look exactly like film, but we'll get into that some other show. But the other thing is that I thought for this film it would work because it deals with black and white issues, right? And by showing it, by shooting it in black and white and calling it a little black and white issue, which was the original title at one point, people would say, "Ooh, clever, black and white. Ooh, yeah, Woody Allen. Ooh, wow, cool." But in essence, it was to mask the fact that we were still working on the process, you know, to make it look like we shot it on 16 or 35 millimeter film, when in fact we shot it on some real cheap stuff that you'd never imagine.
I thought you shot it on 16, actually. I asked you, Gene, what medium?
Well, that's the whole point. I mean, like I said, I've been working on this process for almost 2 years now, and it's where you can take well-shot video and give it the look, the movement, the texture. And if you freeze frame it, you'll even see little specks of dust and scratches on the video, which video doesn't do, but that's added post.
Right.
Like I said, I've now finally perfected it for color. Had I had it perfected back then, we would have released this one in color, but I wanted to, like I say, mask it. And since there's only 2 people in Pacoima watching right now, nobody's going to know. No, anyway, I've always done it. Even when I was shooting Super 8, it was the same thing.
It's not Pacoima.
When we were shooting Super 8 films, the whole thing was to make it look like it was 16 or 35, so we would try to take the Super 8 image and make it look as good as it could. I'm doing the same thing I was doing 20 years ago, only I'm using better technology than you know, yesterday's technology, which was Super 8 movie film.
Great. And now, what are you doing? Is it on home video? Or what are you doing about distribution?
Well,
for
it's
the film?
available. I mean, we've got a distributor that's trying to get it into the world, just like all the other films we've done. I'm selling it on the internet, which is actually the most successful for me right now because I'm getting a lot of people that are inquiring on other films, or they'll be looking up Polish Vampire. They'll come to my website and they'll happen to see this.
And how do they find your website?
You know, the easiest way is to just go to any of the search engines like Yahoo or Lycos or whatever and just type in Pirromount. There aren't too many other places it'll take you. So
Not Paramount.
Pirro, P-I-R-R-O-M-O-U-N-T. If I gave you the real web address, it's got all these W's in it, and it's too confusing. I mean, I couldn't even get there that way. It's got squiggly lines and little .coms and com this and that. So go to Yahoo, type Pirromount, you're there.
So you go direct to consumer, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, I'm still trying to get it into the blockbusters and all that stuff. It's a tough sell, though. You know, all low-budget films are tough
Maybe you
sells.
can sell as a package of all your...
I do that too. We have a thing called the Filmmaker Special, which I sell on the internet, where I sell Polish Vampire, Curse of the Queer Wolf, Colorblinded, and the documentary that I did on filmmaking, and a book on filmmaking. So all those 5 items are sold as a package on the internet, and that's doing pretty good too, which is kind of cool.
Great. Because I don't think we can say how much it costs on.
Sure you can, $100.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't say that? Oh, that would be promoting, that would be selling, and you can't do that on public access, even though they charge you guys to shoot here. Which I think is illegal. Look into that. I'm sorry.
But anyway.
Anyway, well, I'm sorry. They don't edit these things, do they?
So.
It's your show. Take control here. What do you want?
And what's next?
What's next? I got to pee. I mean, other than that, what's next? I'm working on a script right now called Jesus the Revenge. I'm actually going back to the style of comedy that I used to do. It's out there. It's offbeat. It's crazy. It's insane. It's kind of what I miss. I mean, even though Colorblinded, like I say, was the best received film, it's a safer film. Making movies like Curse of the Queer Wolf and Nudist Colony of the Dead and Jesus the Revenge is a little more aggressive humor, which I kind of prefer doing. So if I can get the script finished, I'm about halfway through it, and with any luck, it'll be done by the end of summer.
Oh, good.
We'll just keep our fingers crossed and get that one out there. And this is in color.
Well, okay. So it'll be...
Gizo color.
It won't be color blinded. It'll be color sighted.
It'll be color sighted. Very good.
Mark, I want to thank you so much for joining me
you.
on my show.
My pleasure.
Even though you think it's very small.
Oh, you know, size doesn't matter. At least that's what they keep convincing me.
And I want to thank my audience for watching, and I know you are watching out there.
Pedro and Manuel.
This has been another edition of Hollywood On Scene Videos, and I'm Rebecca Vera, and I want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.